we are here. We are rolling. I'm here with my friend Sneakybuffalo. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing good, doing good. Lots of exciting stuff happening in the, TCG space right now. So,
oh, I know. There's so many card games on the market, and there's a bunch of cards coming in 2025. So we're recording this mid-December. By the time this goes live, it'll be second or third week of January. But I mean, like at the time of this going live, it's December, or it's 2025. We're going to be kicking off a really good year of trading card games. I was actually just talking to some of my friends about SpongeBob's going to be in Magic and Spider-Man.
Don't even get me started on the SpongeBob thing.
I'm like, okay, all right. Before we get into our primary topic, we were arguing, and I think this is a valid argument, and I'm sure we'll probably see a preview by the time this goes live. But at this point, at the recording, we don't know anything, no previews, no spoilers, no nothing. What color is SpongeBob going to be? What do you think? What are they going to color template him as?
That's hard. I feel like he's got to be white. I feel like he's like the good guy, he's just naive and innocent, and that just feels white to me. And then secondary color, for some weird reason, no idea why. Don't know if it's because he lives in an ocean. Blue.
Blue. Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, no.
You say SpongeBob, and I thought blue for some reason, so I'm gonna go with it.
So someone said blue because SpongeBob is like, he was kind of on the same path you were. We didn't talk about like dual color, but I think white would have probably been in this scenario, because he was saying, well, SpongeBob is blue because he's that naive little kid who's always trying to do the right thing, but he's just gonna foil all of your plans in the trolliest way possible, and he has no idea why. He just does it, like kind of like with Mrs. Puff. He just cannot drive and get a driver's license. It will never happen. But like, he can do it blindfolded and in space and with an arm tied behind his back, but not regularly. So I'm tracking with you there.
That's fair.
Mr. Krabs. What do you think Mr. Krabs is going to be color coded to?
I mean, he's like, I don't know, he's got this like angry, aggressive feel. So I'm just feeling red. Something red.
Okay. Plankton.
Ooh, black. 100%.
Okay. I thought he'd be
maybe
like
blue.
Like black red or black blue. He's just like this, chaos little evil. Here's the tricky one.
Dimir, black blue would be so Plankton.
Yeah, I could see him as Dimir. Patrick Star. We could not figure this one out because we know he's not red. He's not aggro. But then like sometimes he gets really mad.
Green.
Oh, Selesnya. Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, we were arguing about black green or like red green because he's just kind of this beefy little starfish dude.
Yeah, like that's the green for me, is like the beefiness, and then like the derp is just white. I don't know why I think white is like this naive derpy color, but that's what I feel about white. Sorry.
So I could agree with you because like SpongeBob and Patrick are best friends, so I'm assuming they share a color, and white would probably be the most mechanically sound magic color of the five.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense. I could see that. Okay. All right, the fun one. Squidward tentacles. What is he? What colors do you think he's gonna be?
I feel he's got to be blue something. I feel like he's got to be blue just because like he's always trying to be like the know-it-all or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that feels blue. And then I don't know what the other something is.
If they do a Jace alternate art with Squidward wearing like the hoodie, I'm buying that card. I don't care what it costs.
He's also like an aggressive, angry person, so I could see him as it. I could see him as it. Blue red.
Okay. Yeah, blue red. Okay. He'd be like a Squidward the Mindcaster. You have JTMS, now you have STMS.
Let's go.
Mind Sculptor. Okay. Yeah, I could see Squidward as is it blue red. That would be funny. I don't know if any of this is true, but I'm absolutely buying at least one box of SpongeBob, if not more, because it's gonna be stupid. I don't care.
Oh wait, it's an actual set? I thought it was a secret layer.
Is it a secret layer?
That's what I thought.
I thought it was Universes Beyond. Hold on. Let me look.
Yeah, but
Let me
there's
use the
like
internet.
universes beyond secret layers too, like the Marvel one that just came out, or that's
Yeah.
like how universes beyond started with the Walking Dead secret layer.
Oh no, you're right, because the Spider-Man is the full set. SpongeBob is a secret
Spider-Man's
layer.
the set.
Okay. Still, it's got to be like SpongeBob, Patrick, Mr. Krabs, Squidward, Plankton. There's no way. Like who else? I mean, like
Sandy. Yeah, I mean she's definitely a main character.
She is. I feel like those five are definitely like more like forefront. Maybe Gary.
Oh, dude, there's got to be a Gary card. That would literally be the only SpongeBob card I would ever own. Would be a Gary card.
Oh, I'm buying it. I don't care what it costs. I'm buying this secret layer. And then, Spider-Man, take my money. So excited.
I'm one of those old jaded Magic players, right? Like I played. I played when I was in high school, and it was like, you know, Magic from 15 years ago. And then went to college, stopped playing, came back in here and there throughout the years, and then haven't really played. And then I come back, you know, into the whole gaming industry essentially with COVID. And just seeing the difference and WotC as it is now and Magic as it is now, like I'm one of those people that's just like, I don't want to give WotC any of my money, brah. And so like I don't actually own any Magic cards anymore. Like I'll go and I'll sit down like at a commander pod with like, you know, at the shop and just be like, somebody hand me a deck, you know. But I will say that if for the Spider-Man set they drop a Venom commander deck or a couple other potential possibilities, I'm buying it. It's happening.
I mean, I'll buy Venom. I want a Carnage.
Yeah, Carnage is bad. He's discount Venom. He's discount Venom.
You're not wrong. I just love that design. It's so fun to look at.
He does look really cool. This is true, and he's got like super crazy shapes with his tentacles and stuff, and he has some awesome art. Another Venom's one that would do
character. Carnage just looks cooler, I think,
for sure. Another one that would get me would be if there was a Sinister Six theme deck.
Oh, yeah, I would go for that.
Basically, if there's any Spider-Man villain stuff that's not just Doc Ock, I'm down.
Yeah. So you would want which Sinister Six? Because there's been a couple iterations. Because it's like the classic Doc Ock is in all of them.
Yeah, that's true. He's always on. I don't know, like what I grew up with as a kid with like the Amazing Spider-Man,
the 90s,
like the 90s,
the Fox Kids.
like Rhino, Shocker,
Lizard,
Lizard,
Raven,
maybe Vulture.
Vulture's in there. Because in the comics, Electro was in there instead of Shocker.
I was always a Shocker guy, not an Electro guy. Now I see like Electro.
Wasn't Shocker? Wasn't the voice for Shocker Darkwing Duck?
I have.
It was Jim Cummings.
Not a clue.
Oh, that's fair. I just remember I was like, this guy's voice. I've heard it before, and then I saw like Darkwing Duck. I'm like, oh, it's the same guy. I'm pretty sure it's Jim Cummings. Anyways,
I'm gonna have to check this out now.
Hold on, we'll use the internet here. Let's see. Shocker voice actor. Yeah, it's Jim Cummings. Yep.
Nice. Yeah. My personal favorite has always been
Darkwing.
Oh gosh, yeah. My personal favorite has always been Rhino, just the big beefy dude that just, runs through stuff. I'm also a big Juggernaut fan. So
shocking. Yeah, Colossus. Probably.
Yeah. Colossus, I love. He's one of my favorite X-Men. Absolutely.
Oh, and Mysterio. That was the other one. Yeah.
Oh, how do we forget about Mysterio? Probably because of the terrible portrayal of him in the movies. But
whatever. Man, it was so good, and then it was so bad so fast.
Yeah.
Like I liked how they introduced Mysterio, and then they tanked it. I'm like, oh no. Not again.
He is a very hard power set to like capture well. So like I understand what they did with them and why, but like
it was a great starter. Like he is mysterious and you think he's good, and it's like, oh, maybe it's a different version because it's the MCU and there's creative liberties, and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, it's just the classic revenge story and yada yada. Okay, he's a techno nerd. There was a lot of, I guess the thing is there was so much potential. It could have been much better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been the case with a lot of the MCU stuff on the villain side of things. Like, there's been a lot of misses with like AIM and MODOK and
MODOK. Why you gotta hurt me tonight, man?
I figured that would hurt.
Humpty Dumpty. Oh god, it was just like, I've seen some bad CG in my life. This is really bad CG.
Yeah,
they just stretched him out. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm glad the Mandarin got a redemption, and like the way that they tied that in with the original movie was like really cool. I really appreciated what they did with that.
I do agree. They did some justice, but my gosh, MODOK, that's gonna hurt me now. I'm just gonna be like thinking of that giant, huge face. It just looked like a baby who was like holding in a poop.
I mean, it's MODOK. He looks dumb. Like, let's just be honest.
Yeah, but like comic MODOK has like gritty teeth, and he looks like he could just eat you if he wanted to. Like, he's a scary looking dude.
That's fair.
MCU MODOK looks like he got run over by a truck, and then they tried to wipe the stains off, and they just stretched his face out even more.
That's essentially what happened, though.
Oh Lord, poor Ant-Man. Oh my God, it's awful. Anywho, yeah, I would be down for a Sinister Six team up deck. I would love for like a Spider-Verse deck too, where it's like
Peter Parker, like that is 100% is gonna be what it's all about. It's all going to be Miles and Pete and Spider-Gwen or whatever you want to call her at this point in time.
Penny, you could have like Penny. If they have Spider-Man Noir as a commander, I'm playing that. It's got to be black and white, clearly.
Yeah. What would be amazing, and I doubt it's going to happen, but would be absolutely sick, is if they had alt-arts from using the Marvel Rivals characters. Because God, those characters are gorgeous in that game.
Yeah, Marvel Rivals. You want to talk about a game doing things right? Oh, good on those people.
Yeah, I just wish I liked hero shooters, man. Like, I just can't.
Oh no, hero shooters are one of my favorite game types.
Shooters in general, I'm just really bad at, and hero shooters are just like I just can't. They're just one of the games fair. I just can't wrap my head around, man.
That's fair. So I've been playing hero shooters since like TF2 eons ago. Yeah. I think I have like 2,000 or 3,000 hours in TF2, and then Overwatch hits, and I've got a couple thousand hours in that game. And so Rivals hits, I'm like, bro, I just got married. I don't have time for this, but I'm still loving it so much.
Yeah. That's
totally I'm waiting for Gambit. I need a Gambit. I need a Cyclops.
Yes.
Give me. Yes. I'm really hoping for like a Juggernaut or a Colossus, because we've got the fastball special with Hulk. So where's my boy Colossus? I really hope his ultimate is like the old arcade where he just does an AOE. He's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Magic. I mean, that's assist. So
I know. Yeah.
Usually, like anything that has one has the other one. Except for like Midnight Suns, but yeah.
Sigh. Yeah. Oh, I also
that game is great.
Did you see someone modded? Did you ever play the Batman Arkham series games?
I didn't play any of the series, no, but I'm aware.
Okay. So remember, I think it was the second one. I think it was Arkham City, where Joker like straps down Batman in the chair and then injects him with his blood, and he's kind of sick. Somebody modded that where Batman's like stuck in the chair and then gave him like a Professor Xavier face, and then you're just like moving around the game universe like in the chair, and it's like the new Marvel Rivals characters arrived, Professor Xavier, and it's just Batman like stumbling over stuff stuck in the chair. I was like, oh, I guess I want Professor X in the classic yellow chair, because some people are like, he can walk now. I'm like, well,
yeah.
you could do that, but
like
man,
like him in his little floaty hover chair, man. Give him his floaty hover chair.
Yeah. So. Oh, and of course, Nightcrawler. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, he's a cool character for sure.
It would be
like, I know he has like
people.
a super intense fan base, but I've never been that big on Nightcrawler. But I appreciate him as a character. Rogue, I just don't know how they would do Rogue.
I mean, yeah, it's tricky because like, does she absorb people's abilities? Because like Loki kind of does that already with his ultimate.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
not sure.
I mean, they could always stick with like the classic like Ms. Marvel like power set of old school X-Men.
Yeah,
and then just have the draining thing as like a secondary thing.
But yeah, I also really want to see a Beast, like classic X-Men 97, just the blue Beast just slashing people. This probably a tank.
Yeah, tank or brawler. I don't know what they're called in that game, but
they're just they're trying to use like proprietary names, and it's like we all know it is. It's tank, DPS, support. Like,
yeah, I know. Tank is Vanguard. I think they still call supports, don't they?
No, they're like specialist or something.
Okay, yeah.
And then
DPS is like assault or something.
I don't use proprietary terms because it just confuses people.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a group chat with your friends, you're not like, I'm gonna play support, or you're not like, I'm gonna play a specialist. I'm gonna play support. Like, that's what I'm doing. I'm playing a support role.
I'm playing Rocket Raccoon Specialist.
Yeah. Oh man, Rocket is hilarious. That little thing is a monster.
Yeah, he's got some neat stuff, neat tricks up his sleeve for sure.
I just love Jeff. That shark is a horrid monster, and it's gorgeous.
I've been hearing so many stories. The fact that they made Jeffy like his own character is amazing. I wonder if they're gonna do. I mean, I highly doubt it, because like with Kitty and her dragon, whose name escapes me, they're so intertwined. There's no way that they're not like just one character. But it would be interesting if the little dragon got its own character.
We'll have to see. There's so much potential. I think that's the big thing people like about Rivals. There's no shortage of opportunities, at least with the characters themselves. How they're implemented into the game, that'll be interesting, because they've got 33 characters who are pretty fairly unique, and the more you add, the more difficult it becomes. I mean, if they're taking a beat from like Riot with League of Legends, there's obviously potential, because what does League have, like 120 or 30 champs, and they're all fairly different.
Dude, I have no idea. I was going through, that was the funny thing, I haven't played in ages, and I haven't touched Runeterra in maybe like a year, 2 years, up until a week ago. And I was going through the Runeterra, just seeing like, oh, what champs are there? And I'm like, who is this? Why am I still scrolling through champs? There were so many. It was wild.
There's a metric poop ton. And the fact that they're fairly different, like not all of them are different, but it's not like there's 20 uniques and then the rest are just carbon copies. Like Smash Brothers, when they had those like shadow clone things where you have like Peach and Daisy, you really have one unique character but two like skins essentially.
Yeah, I mean, Smash Brothers is also like super limited on how far they can push the design in any one direction,
True, but I mean, like Ultimate had a lot of characters to play from, even if you ignore the copies. There was just so many different options, and it was really, really cool.
That's fair.
But that's actually a segue into the main topic for tonight. And that's going to be the new trading card game from Riot, which is currently called Project K. And I'm pretty
Rune
confident.
Battlegrounds in China.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that name is going to change when it hits the States. I mean,
yeah, if it's called Rune Battlegrounds when it gets here, oh god, it's not as bad as 2XKO, but come on, Riot, like
they're not the best at names. Yeah, 2XKO is a rough one.
Like, yeah, I've seen a lot of people being like, it's called Double Knockout. I'm like, no, the words are 2XKO.
Yeah,
that is what is written on the website.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong, but they just announced it over the last weekend. So at the time of this recording, it's the 18th of December. So what, they announced it on Friday the 13th, I think.
It was announced the week before, and then it was first demoed the 13th in Macau.
Yeah, because they'd announced it months ago only for China. I was like, oh well, I guess we don't get to play. And then you're right, they announced it was coming worldwide, but we really got to see what the game was. We saw actual cards, we saw UI, templating, colors, like gameplay, and then a bunch of people got into a Discord, and then the game developers got into the same Discord, and they've been answering questions, and there's a tabletop simulator mod, and it's kind of following through the standard new trading card game gets announced, information comes out, there's a TTS mod, people are playing. We don't have any kind of semblance on when the game is coming to America, because Riot has to find clue. Riot has to find printing partners, and I'm pretty confident by the time this episode comes out we still won't know. If we had to guess, what do you think? Like Q3, end of year, end of 2025, because it takes like 6 to 9 months just to print and get over the boat.
The question is really going to come down to, can their existing Chinese partners handle global production? If they need to find printers, then we're looking at minimum 6 months, which puts us at, and that's like absolute minimum, probably closer to 9 months. Minimum. So we're looking at August, we're looking at August, September.
Yeah,
more than likely at the earliest. If the Chinese manufacturer can handle printing globally, then, and all they're looking for is distro partners and someone that can help them manage, organized play and all those other fun things, then that can lower the timetable significantly to where we're looking Q2, Q3.
It's still at least 6 months out. There's no way it hits Q1.
I think so. Yeah. Oh no, absolutely no way it hits Q1, because it's releasing in China Q1, and we know that that's their first, and we don't even know when in Q1. We just know early 2024. Technically, that's not even Q1. It could be, April, but
I have no hope that this game will be out anytime soon in America.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of nice, because it gives me time to save up some money for it. But we know enough about it that we can actually have an educated conversation, which is kind of nice.
Oh, yeah.
And thank God
100%.
for TTS. We can play digitally and kind of get our chops. Now, this looks a lot like the Digimon TCG, where it hit Japan and Americans were playing it for months before it came to the stateside. And at that point, the meta had been solved. And I think Bandai started doing worldwide simultaneous releases, because like Yu-Gi-Oh, if you have a game that releases in a different country and then America gets it umpteen months later, it kind of gets solved from just so many iterations of people playing it in, for Yu-Gi-Oh, Japan gets the OCG, and then America gets the TCG. And although there's a different set of a band list and a different set of decks, there's usually a pretty significant overlap. Digimon is another great example of Japan gets the cards like a quarter early. By the time it hits America, most people aren't buying sealed product. They're just buying singles because they know, all right, out of set 3, I need 5 cards. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm curious if that'll come to fruition in America as well.
It's a bigger issue with One Piece. We'll talk about like the Bandai stuff.
I forgot about
Digimon. Digimon has enough like unique archetypes in the way that they give support to archetypes that it's not as big of a deal. Also, Japan does best of 1 and America does best of 3 currently, so the metas are slightly different.
Yeah.
But the big thing with Digimon is as of January, they'll be caught up.
Right.
So Bandai's been doing a catch-up thing this last year. So as of January, Digimon's going to be caught up. One Piece hasn't started that yet. So they're still like 6 months behind, and it is a plague on the One Piece community. You hear people complaining about it all the time. And yeah. But
is it because everyone just knows exactly what to get when the stateside hits?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And so like prices spike, everything's expensive, or all the good stuff is expensive, anything meta. Plus, there's already, One Piece people are just ravenous, so there's already a supply issue, and yada yada yada. One Piece is
right.
Wild game. But on like that particular topic, we did get a message in the Discord from Dave, who's the lead game designer, saying that their goal is to get all regions caught up as quickly as possible. What it entails in order to do so, whether it is a faster set release schedule, whether it is releasing like Bandai's doing with Digimon, where they're combining 2 sets into 1 set, and releasing those, stuff like that. Like there's options for how they do it, and I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but their goal is to get everyone caught up globally as fast as possible.
Okay. So there will be a little bit of a time displacement, but not like forever.
Right.
Okay, that's good. Well, that answers that question, because I know you've probably been in the Discord more than I have.
I've been living busy. In there, man.
Man, it's so nice. Everyone's just really chill. I'm really enjoying, but it's also not like too low key, if that makes sense. Like
it's super active. I can't believe how active it is.
Well, no, I guess the word I'm looking for isn't, I don't know how to express it other than like some Discords are like super sweaty, super toxic. Some Discords are like so low key that nothing ever gets done. Everyone's just kind of like floating nebulously. I guess I don't know what the word for that is, but you know what I'm talking about.
I get you.
Everyone's like too nice, and like no one's opinion has any value because it all has value. The classic syndrome: if everyone has superpowers, no one is special.
Yeah. If everyone's special, no one is.
Yeah, no one is. Great line. But then in in the Project K Discord, like there's some great discussions. There's been great arguments, but no one's gotten uncivil. And I love a place where you can have a legitimate discussion, argue, present your points, and everyone goes, you know what? That was a good talk. Let's go grab a drink and have some fun. So it's kind of like this healthy like middle ground of like there's a lot of good discussions, there's a lot of community building, everyone's there to help. But at the same point, it's not like everyone is right or everyone is wrong. Everything comes together in a very healthy manner. It's like, oh, it's so nice. This is great. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And it's not like over moderated too.
Oh yeah. Willow and Mage Armor are like overrun. Like they just started up like, oh, it was announced like we're gonna start up a community Discord so people can have a place to come hang out and have fun, and then
thousands of people.
Literally like we had 800 people on Friday the 13th. Yeah. And then or whatever day that was, 14th, I don't know. And then Sunday, I want to say, is when the devs joined the Discord, dropped the quick start guide, and then also posted the Discord to their social media.
Yeah, yeah.
And I looked at it today on Wednesday, so it's been 6 days, and there's just shy of 4,000 members.
Yep.
And so
I jumped in right around that like 600-700 mark. I was like, oh, this is nice. It's pretty small. There we go.
Yeah.
Oops.
Like, yeah. The funny thing is, like, on your topic earlier about how, you know, it's like a nice Discord to be in. I'm just laughing about you like gushing about that when one of the first things that people were like talking about whenever Project K got announced are like, oh god, it's a League TCG. This is going to be the most toxic TCG ever. People think Magic players are bad. Just wait until you have League players sitting down across the table from you.
They're not wrong.
I was just like,
okay. I should clarify. I have stayed away from the general chat, and I basically live in rules discussion and like it's rules discussion, card discussion, like deck building. I have no interest in general chat because I saw it for like 2 seconds.
General's
complaining. Okay, yeah, people are just complaining. I'm like, yeah, I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah,
but rules questions are like great discussions. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. That's literally the channels that I live in. Like,
yeah, Mr. Like Judge over here.
Yeah, on most gaming like Discords, literally, I'll have the entire thing muted except for the rules channel.
Yeah. And that's why we get along well, is we've both been judges in different games because our brains are like, what is the framework of this game and how do I break it?
Yeah, it's like
I want to know how this works.
Yeah, I was making the classic joke with Zara, who's like the lead rules manager.
Yeah, I love her. She's cool.
Yeah, she's dope. And she was saying something about like, y'all are worried so much about this, but it almost never comes up. I'm just like, Zara, we're rules lawyers. We don't care what we should do.
Yeah.
We care what we can.
What we can. Yeah, it may not come up in your
playtesting. Her response was, I know you're my people. That's why I'm here.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so great. The fact that the devs just jumped in naturally and haven't like threatened to shut it down. It's like, whoa, this is kind of cool. Because a lot of communities are constantly under duress of like, if it's not an official Discord, if it's a not official tabletop simulator, you're under this pressure of you might get a cease and desist because you're using the trademarked or copywritten artwork or whatever legal jargon you want to use, and you get hit with, hey, you can't do that, stop it. And it seems like Riot's just totally on board with, oh, this community already built up, sure, go for it. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, the funny thing was that like literally like a couple hours before, they had posted publicly like on Twitter or something that they weren't going to release any rules information until early next year. And then hours later, and it was, the funny thing is, it was in response to our boy Pavel, and he was asking about like, are y'all going to release anything to help avoid misinformation or anything like that? And apparently that was what prompted them to actually like join and release the stuff. Was they had a discussion with the designers, and they were like, listen, we really should probably try to avoid misinformation. Like, people are going to be taking the information they have here, and it's all going to be hearsay. And then they're going to go try to do stuff, and then people are going to be developing opinions, about the game based off of this. So the cards are out there. People have played the game. The rules are out there. We should probably, disseminate them. And so they popped into the Discord. They gave us rules, and they've been sitting here answering all of our questions. And we've been bombarding them.
Yeah.
Ever since.
Yeah, you, me, and a lot of other people. But I think that's a wise choice.
100%.
Because it's very easy for people to take pictures or shorts, post it on the internet, and go, here's what I did, here's what I think. And people who weren't at the event are going, oh, that sucks, I don't want to play this game. And you've instantly lost a customer and a player, and they've never even like read the rules. They've just heard from some other person. Yeah, that sucks.
And yeah, I mean, the funny thing is like, it's been playable since Sunday, so 3 days. There's already a bunch of how to play videos, gameplay videos, and all that kind of stuff on YouTube that are just wrong.
Yeah. I know.
We've had rules updates, and we've had clarifications, and we've had all this other stuff. Like, there's already a bunch of content out there that's just wrong.
It's outdated in 3 days. It's wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
and that's why I'm kind of waiting to get more information before I start playing, because I realized that real quick. Like Friday, this was like version 1, and then by Sunday we're at version like 6. So it's like, I don't know if I want to learn the wrong way to play the game. I'll wait until we get like the concise rules and then start jamming out.
Yeah, hardcore. And some of that comes from like the rules aren't 100% like right now.
Right.
They're still not locked in the stone. Mm-hmm. Zara describes certain things as fuzzy, and then there's they'll come in, like, we'll be talking about different stuff, and they'll be like, we're gonna go discuss that.
Yeah, I feel like we're beta testers in a way.
Yeah, well, that was the joke I was making, actually. That how I realized there was 3,600 people in the Discord was Plink, one of the rioters, was talking about something. I was like, and it was literally that situation. He was like, yeah, we'll look into it. And I was like, listen, if there's anything y'all wanna test, you got 1,000 free beta test or free play testers now.
Yeah.
And then I looked and I was like, oh wait, it's actually 3,600.
Yeah. Yeah, I really do think that we're essentially like beta playtesters, but it's not a bad thing, because the fact that they're listening and making adjustments is a great sign, because so many companies would say, oh, we appreciate your feedback. We've already kind of locked in. This is how it is. You'll just have to figure it out. And Riot's like the exact opposite of, oh, that's a much better idea. We'll talk about it. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to do anything about it, but at least we feel like we're being heard as a community, not just look kind of like swept over, like, oh, hey, thanks for that. Go over there and leave us alone. We'll do our thing. You do your thing.
Yeah. And they said they set that precedent, like, literally from jump, where, they were talking about, they release the stuff, and then the community outcry was the cards look bad.
They do look bad.
Just hard stop. They're poor quality One Piece imitations. Let's just be honest. Yeah. If you put a One Piece card right next to a Project K card, it's the exact same formatting.
Just go with the classic templating. It doesn't have to be hard.
But their immediate response was, hey, we hear you. We'll look into it. Whether they're able to actually do anything about it or not, that's a different question. I'd be totally fine with set 1 of China being a special template of these are the only cards that are ever going to look like this, and you know what, they're extra collectible because that's how it is, and then everybody else gets cool pretty cards.
Yep.
I think that is A-okay, and nobody's going to be upset about it.
No. But if they do the rest of the game in this, I'm pretty turned off already.
After like seeing enough gameplay and getting cards in hand and stuff, like it doesn't bother me that much for base rarity stuff. There's little tweaks they can make that'll make the cards look way better, and hopefully they do that. Like if they just leave them as they are right now, it just kind of seems lazy. But when just a couple little tweaks can up the quality of the cards a lot. But
and I think they said they've got other versions they can play with. This was just like the quickest thing they could get out so people could play the game.
Well, the point I was getting at was, like, for base rarity, like I don't care, whatever. It's just, if the chase cards look bad, then that's an actual problem, because then the collectability isn't there, and if the collectability isn't there, the game's dead. Like, it's just you can't survive on players alone. Unless you're
looking at you, Flesh and Blood.
Yeah. Even Flesh and Blood like has collectors with, but anyways, not getting into that. But Flesh and Blood's another wild community.
It is a wild community, but like they're not like super collectible. It's like collectors within the metagame sweaty play. It's like Pokemon is the collector.
They have whales. Fat has whales.
Yeah.
It's the best way to say it.
That is the best way to say it. It's a really fun game, but it's just not new player friendly. Like Magic and Pokemon are great onboarding games. Lorcana, Star Wars Unlimited. It's like, hey, are you a kid? Are you an adult? It doesn't matter. You can play this game. Flesh and Blood. Do you know math? Yeah. Do you know good math? No. Don't play this game.
Did you pass calculus?
Yeah, right. Like I played Flesh and Blood, and I think that's a sweaty game. And we're playing like casual locals. I'm like, well, this is not for me. It's fun.
It is. Yeah.
Also, their reprint system makes me cry because some of their equipment's like hundreds of dollars. That stupid cloak. I'm like, what? How much is this card? Seriously? Yeah. Why?
They've made announcements that they're working on that aspect of the game, but
lies.
We'll see what happens. I mean, they have to. They realize that like if in order to get into competitive, you have to drop at least $900. Like it's not sustainable.
No, like, that tunic
for the game
card. Yeah. That tunic was going for like what, $500-$600 at a time.
Yeah,
the cold foils, like, whoa.
Yeah,
like don't get me wrong, I've played some $1,000 decks before, but that seems kind of crappy. Yeah, that like, your one card costs more than some of my Magic decks in Standard right now.
Yeah, 100%. Like if you look at modern Magic, like it's the same situation. Like it's $1,000 buy-in minimum. Yep. But playing modern is a choice, right? You've got tons of you've got tons of other options to enjoy and to play Magic. If you're playing modern,
the Pinkertons to your house. If you don't play modern, we'll break your legs.
Yeah. Here's whereas like Fab, it's like, I mean, you can play Blitz, I guess. Like,
no, don't do that. Don't give people hope. False hope. Beware.
Yeah.
you could play, I love the way you're like, you could play Blitz. I guess I could like hear the shrug in your shoulders when you did that.
It's an option. It exists.
You could eat the cardboard, I guess. I mean, there's some fiber and maybe some roughage.
That is one. That is one of the cool things I'm excited about with Project K, which I'll get into in a second.
Yeah.
Is the fact that there's a variety of formats that you're able to play with just one deck, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But before I get into that, I just want to go back to the alt art and collectability thing, and say like that the base rarity stuff with them looking like one pieces wasn't what concerned me personally.
Okay.
It was the arcane set, which to me looks like absolute garbage.
Really?
Yeah, I think it looks terrible.
Okay, do tell, because I actually liked it.
But
I'm also a foil sucker.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. But I do like the formatting of the cards. I think the backgrounds are just very generic and bland. They don't really like tell a story. They don't feel like art to me. They feel like, a background, which is what it is. But then the character art itself, like the character art specifically, I think just looks terrible. I think it looks bad.
It's pretty mid.
Yeah.
I was more impressed with the foil than anything else. So yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. Makes sense.
Yeah. So like that was where my concern was like, if this is the direction that they're going with like their limited edition special chase alt art things to celebrate their super successful show that just concluded and the launch of their TCG, like that's where I was getting kind of with the art side of things and the collectability.
Right. Fair enough.
So hopefully they're able to make some adjustments there. They've got some other cool things in the works. Everybody's like joking about pro player signed chase cards, which would be like super awesome, to be totally honest. Like getting a sneaky signed like Jin or Vayne, like how dope would that be?
Oh, that'd be cool. Okay. Yeah. It's kind of like autographs on sports cards.
Yeah, basically. Or, like Vice Cards and Union Arena with the voice actors and stuff. But
I love those. I have a couple. Yeah, those are really cool.
Yeah, they're pretty
like
good.
People
freak out about them. Yeah, that's what people are saying.
That's true.
Yeah, like something like that would be really cool. There's a lot of options. Yeah, that's my thing. Full arts is, you're always going to have my heart if there's full arts. And as much as I hate to say this, because I already, went on about WotC earlier, is The one thing that their, booster fun thing has done well, in my opinion, is make borderless and extended arts incredibly accessible. Incredibly
Yes.
accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And I pray that is the one singular thing they take from Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Although they already stole the stack.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to see alt arts. I would love to see like Bandai style foiling. I really do think Bandai has got some of the best foiled cards in the TCG market right now.
They just have some of the best cards, period. Like their card quality is amazing. The way they design things. There's cards coming out for Gundam that are commons.
Oh my god.
That would be chase alt arts in other games.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna collect Gundam just for the cards. I don't know if I'm ever gonna play it, but like I saw the Witch from Mercury like full art foils, and my jaw just dropped.
Dude. The Ariel,
that card's like. But I mean, like look at like Union Arena. Like I'm gonna pick up a booster box of the Code Geass. Some of those cards just look insane. I've seen the Hunter x Hunter cards, like the Hisoka. Just wow. Or have you ever like seen the old Dragon Ball Super like hyper foil cards where it's like a spot gloss for the character and then everything else is like full foil? It's just nuts. I don't know what they're doing because no one else is doing it. Yeah. And
a lot of their stuff they do for like Dragon Ball Super Masters though is they take it too far. It's just everything's gold, everything's shiny. It's just like I can't even look at the cards, man. It's just
no. I was talking about old Dragon Ball Super from like 2016, like the good foiling. Yeah. The current stuff is like way too aggressive, but there was a point in time with Dragon Ball Super where it was perfect. They got everything just really, really well done. Like for me, it was the gold standard of what a full art foil card really should be. Because like Magic is just slaps a rainbow foil on and they're like, that's good enough, right? It's like, no. Lorcana's Enchanteds are getting pretty good. Pokemon, some of like I'm not a big fan of like the gold full arts. I do love the rainbows, which makes me a hypocrite. But like those
I agree.
What do you call those? Those full art like trainer artworks where it looks like it's like something
trainer galleries.
Yeah, the trainer galleries. Those are my favorite things ever. Now the foiling I do not love, but I love the way it's like the full art. It's like a scene out of a book or a TV show. If I could take that level of art and the foiling from Bandai, it would be perfect. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I remember I was blown away. I'm not a cold foil fan.
Fair enough. I like cold foils.
It's just because of the way cold foiling works is like you're putting ink over silver instead of over white. It desaturates and you can't get as bold of colors and stuff as you can. But anyways,
fair enough.
When I'm talking about like the foiling for Bandai, someone was showing they had a physical copy of the alt art Launcher Strike from the beta box, and they're they're holding it around or moving it around or whatever, and there was this one angle where like literally like you could see every single little edge line that is like like that is highlighting every single aspect of the thing. And like I don't play, but I watch a ton of like Warhammer painting stuff, and when you talk about like edge highlighting on there and stuff, and dude, it was like literally the edge highlighted every single little aspect of this thing with an embossed raised foil, and I was like, wow, bro, like
this is for Gundam, right?
Yeah, this is for Gundam. And I was like, this is insane. Like it was crazy.
My gut says that Bandai is probably going to make Gundam TCG like their big one, considering they are the company that makes Gunpla. It's like, the Pokemon company makes the Pokemon trading card game.
Yeah.
And if they continue making these cards as amazing as the previews look, I'm just going to buy them because I have a Gunpla collection. I love Gunpla, and the fact that there's a card version with Bandai's really good foiling, and of course, it's not only collectible, but it could be lucrative. I'm assuming it will be.
Yeah, no, I 100% like if you're talking from like an organized play standpoint of like regionals and national stuff, like rewards and whatever, 100%. Like it's gonna be probably close to One Piece, like in my opinion, because Gundam has they are collectibles already, so it has a very heavy collectible market already built in. And it's a huge IP. People love it, and there are going to be people that are willing to spend money on it. So 100% on that. The Gundam TCG announcement actually got me to build my first Gundam. It was
really? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was super fun. I went out and I bought the I'm not like a huge Gundam person. I'm always that person that's like appreciated Gundam from like the side. I'm like, oh, big stompy robots, like Gundam's cool, but I never like watched any of the stuff. And so I watched when the TCG got announced, I watched Witch from Mercury, and it was awesome until the end. I was not a fan of the ending. But
okay, that's fair. That's fair. I respect
that. But everything up to that point was amazing. Everything up to that point was amazing. So then I went out and bought a HG SD Aerial. And so that was the first Gundam I built. I love SDs. I think SDs are so much cooler than regular Gundams, to be totally honest.
Yeah, the classic Gundam is classic, but yeah, the newer stuff is, I think, a lot cool. Well, it's like, it's your classic like Mickey Mouse. You got to respect the guy, but like, Darkwing Duck, he's pretty much cooler. No question. He's way more awesome.
Yeah. And so then I was looking into it, so I was like, well, are there master grade SDs? And the answer is yes. Yes, there are. Yeah. And so there's 3 currently. And so I bought the wing one wasn't out yet, which that one looks absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to be getting it. Eventually I'll be getting it. But I've got the MGSD Freedom Strike sitting here in the box, and I just haven't gotten around to being able to put it together. I'm also slightly terrified because I know there's going to be literally dozens times more parts than my little SD hobby grade aerial. But I mean, I've been doing miniatures and like painting and stuff for like my whole life, and so like Gundam's not a stretch for me at all.
What mini games do you play?
So I was another one of those like admired from afar type people for Warhammer for my whole life. I've never actually played, just because it's too much to get into, and honestly, Games Workshop is just an absolutely horrible company. But I was super huge on Warcaster, which was a game that came out via Privateer Press until they ruined it. And they did.
They absolutely did. That's why they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, this is also true.
There's a reason here.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. I got to. I was doing content on that game. That's actually where I first started with doing content and podcasts and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I got to talk to a bunch of the designers and stuff, and get their feedback, and you could tell some certain things. And then when they annoyed us and we dropped the game, we jumped over shortly after to Rivenstone, which was a Kickstarter game put out by Broken Anvil Miniatures, and they had hired on a bunch of people from Privateer Press because they were also based in Seattle, and got to talk to them, learned a little bit more inside info stuff about stuff. And it was like, yeah, you can see the writing on the walls, man. But and then especially also with AMG breaking off from PP and taking the Marvel IP with them.
They took what was that, Crisis Protocol?
Yeah. but so I was big on Rivenstone for a while. Only played that on Tabletop Sim because I never made it to physical until a couple weeks ago because of monetary issues. They weren't able to actually fulfill the Kickstarter, so then they had to give the IP to another company who is now actually fulfilling it, and so there's good hope that it's actually going to become a real thing. And then the latest thing I've gotten into is for miniatures games, Mantic's Halo Flashpoints. It's the Halo skirmish game.
Yeah, I've got some models from that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I picked up the Spartan and the Recon edition. I painted the Recon, haven't gotten around to painting the Spartan. I'm looking forward to the Elites because they're super chunky and dope. Yeah.
It's amazing how intertwined things are, just with the range of, we're talking about the Gundam TCG, which leads to, the Gundam Gunpla miniature aspect, and then, so many things. Because like I've also done minis for a long time, but I'm in the Warhammer camp, so like I've played lots of Warhammer all my life since I was like 8, so many 30 years, 30 plus. I've done like with the Privateer Press, we did Warma Hordes. That was fun. Mm-hmm. I've done like Legion. I've done Crisis Protocol. Mantic had, or who had the oh my gosh, my brain! I'm having a brain fart. It's like a steampunk miniatures game, and you play with like cards, not dice.
Not sure.
I'm having a horrid brain fart. It's pretty fun. Oh shoot. Anyways, but yeah, I've got tons. And then I'm also playing like Kings of War. Like if it's a miniatures game, I want to play it. I want to paint it.
That's
like,
fair. That's a lot.
Most of my collection is in Warhammer, but yeah, I've got armies for many miniature games.
Yeah, but, I mean, when I was a kid, I basically lived at my local. At that time, it wasn't like a FLGS or game store. It was the comic shop. Yeah, I lived in my local comic shop. Every Saturday, that's where I spent all day, unless I was playing football. And I was, the TCG. I played Magic. That's what I played, and they'd have people there playing Warhammer. I was always one of those people like I just kind of like watched from over on the side, like what are they doing? Like it looks super cool. They got like tanks going around and stuff, and they're rolling dice and so like, but I never got into it. But I would buy the I did buy like a couple of models. Like I bought a Chaos Rhino and cool. A Bloodthirster. The OG Bloodthirster.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I painted those up. The Rhino turned out terrible because I tried to weather it and stuff, and God, that turned out bad. Bloodthirster turned out pretty good for like a 12-year-old trying to paint something for his first time.
Yeah.
Sadly, they both no longer exist. But
dang.
Yeah. But I would buy the dude, this is how big of a nerd I am, right? I would buy the army books.
The codexes,
yeah. Well, yeah, but I would mostly do for fantasy. I like fantasy more than 40K.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was like the War Scrolls or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I remember those.
And I would just sit there and I would just read the lore. Right. Mm-hmm. And then I would just sit there and I had a notebook. I've never played the game, right? Never. I had a notebook full of army lists, full army lists with decked out with all the equipment and like everything. Like I'm just sitting here like, just theater of the mind, like playing Warhammer myself against myself with like these armies that I built up with the War Scrolls that I bought. And like, dude, I was a nerd, man.
That's cool though. That's like super cool.
Yeah. Or dude, this is like, it's just so weird. Like nowadays versus looking back to what we used to have to do back in the day. So I remember sitting there, like, back in the day, it had to be like AT&T after 8 or 9 or whatever. You got unlimited minutes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I remember this. Oh Lord, I forgot. Okay,
yeah. So we like wait until then, and then I would call one of my buddies, and we'd play Magic over the phone. with our unlimited minutes.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh man, dude, the world is in 15, 20 years it has changed. Like it's ridiculous, man.
I remember pay phones back when I was in college. Like,
oh yeah,
like cell phones were the iPhone, the original iPhone came out in my junior year of college. So before then, it was like the Razor flip phone, which was just not
the Razor, baby.
It was so expensive, and it just wasn't like convenient. So it was just cheaper to get like a prepaid phone card and just call someone on the prepaid card.
Yep. Yeah. Having to pay 10 cents every time you send a text.
Oh my dude, I got like a $200 phone bill one time. And I was like, what did I do? And it was like, oh, it's 10 cents a text. How many texts? Who was I texting? It was some, I don't even know. It was probably my friends about, I was really into Magic at that time. Oh, you know what I really do miss is the physical keypad. So I could text while driving and never look at my phone. And it would be like 100%
sitting in class with your hoodie and you're just sitting there texting like just because you just know all the buttons. Like
because it was on the grid of 9 and you just like okay 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1, and so you could send like the perfect text, never ever look at your phone. And now like everyone, don't get me wrong, I like where phones are now, but when people are like, oh man, texting is so hard, I'm like, oh don't even, like, you don't even know what a nine keypad used to be, where it's just like, and of course if you were really good you could like one hand text while driving and you're just like burning through an entire conversation on your thumb. Like you can't do that.
And the crazy thing is nowadays, like if I have to click more than like 2 buttons to get wherever something is trying to send me, like I'm not going there, I'm gone, bro. Like
oh man. All right, I'm gonna make you feel old. Remember when the McDonald's cheeseburgers were 50 cents on Sundays?
No, actually I don't.
Oh, okay, never mind. They back in the day, early 90s, they would do like hamburgers for 40 cents and cheeseburgers for 50. And so, you know, family would just jump in the car and hit McDonald's and get infinite cheeseburgers for like $3.
Nice.
It was great. Good time. I totally forgot about the AT&T unlimited minutes. That brings back so many memories of calling people. Yeah, I did the same thing. Yeah. You're just like waiting. It's like 7:59. It's like, or did your mom do that where she would like call her girlfriends and you're like, I want to call my friends. She's like, no, we only have one line. And you were screwed. Like at that point, it was like, well, I'm not talking to nobody because mom's gonna.
But I do remember the days of dial-up and you not being able to use that, not being able to use the house phone and the internet at the same time. And so, like, there was only certain windows of time when I was allowed to use the computer because that's when nobody would call.
Yeah, internet forums. We didn't have social media. You had to like old school post and wait. AIM. Oh my god, so good. Gaming communities are so different now than what they used to be. It's so weird having been through that time frame of no internet, dial-up internet, what we have right now, and so many people take that for granted. Where it's just like, do you even remember? Like, I don't know if you remember. Like, so like I said, I was into Warhammer a lot, but there was like the Daka forums where it was a combination of Warhammer and painting for all miniatures. So if you had like a miniature question, it was like you go to Daka or like Cool Mini or Not before it became like a publishing company. They just had pictures of minis and you're like, it's cool or it's not. Like that was it. You just gave it a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
They had likes before Facebook.
It's true. They really did. But now like Cool Mini or Not is a publishing company. So people will think, oh, Cool Mini or Not, they make like that board game. Yeah, it used to be an internet forum where it was literally a picture with a thumb up, thumb down, and then you just clicked as long as you wanted. It was just an infinite wave of minis. Most of them sucked. It was terrible. But every once in a while, it's like, oh my god, this mini's good. thumbs up, and then like 20 thumbs downs. They're just like, did a 3-year-old paint this? What is this garbage?
Thin your paints.
Oh God! Have you seen that meme with the Space Marine where like
the
whole
one
face? Yeah,
that was like we know exactly. What
yeah,
we're talking about.
yeah. Where he's got like the 2 dots and then the face like melted in. Yeah, that was like 90% of what you would see on the internet. It's like my model looks real good, right? No. Oh my God! Just throw it in the wood chipper. Save yourself, homie.
It's like, listen, there's this thing called paint thinner, bro.
Yeah. Oh man, AIM, good times. And then it was that little beep. I'll never forget. It's like, bloop.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, someone responded to me.
Or the best, every time you loaded it up, you've got mail.
You've got mail. Yeah. So no, like we're too old. Like kids nowadays are like, I don't even know what that means. Like, oh God.
Yeah. Know? Like the meme. I'm sure you've seen this one too. Of the kid comes up to his dad and is like holding a floppy disk, and they're like, "Look, Dad, somebody 3D printed the save icon."
Yeah, I've
How cool is that?
It's like I'm gonna kill you. I have seen that. Man. It makes me feel terrible. Oh man, we're degraded. We're just rabbit trailing the good old days.
Yeah. Hey man, sometimes you just gotta live the nostalgia.
It's fun. But I mean, like I think that's a big part of like what's gonna make Gundam and Project K very successful is like League of Legends has a huge nostalgia base because that game's like what 15, 16 years old.
Which game?
League of Legends.
Oh, probably something like that. Yeah. I was playing it in college, so yeah.
Pretty old, yeah. So I'm sure League is about to hit 20 in less than 5 years. So it's a multi-generational game. They're pulling really cool art. I hope they do some like custom art. Because like
there was a mention from one of the devs saying like how they were looking forward to when they can give back to Runeterra, because a lot of stuff they're ripping from Runeterra right now. Of the art, and so like they're like, yeah, it's gonna be really cool, like us being able to give them art. So there's definitely like some custom stuff in the works. It's not all going to be rips, but yeah,
I'm okay with that. Well, like the leaders, the legends, your like prime character. I love the original art from the game. I think that should be the art and love, like the Yasuo art where he's like sitting down, classic artwork from League of Legends on a card. But like if he has a unit, like you could spruce that up and do something fun that's unique. So it's kind of a combination of like established art that we know and love, and then newer art for things that, we might not be married to nearly as much, if that makes sense.
Well, and then the other cool thing, like on that note is, they've got skins on skins on skins on skins.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they can use those literally all a skin in League of Legends is an alt art.
Yep, pretty much.
Alt arts are just cardboard skins, So
you're not wrong.
They already have a whole plethora of alt art options or alt leader options. Like, right now we've got Relentless Storm Volibear. But, there's going to be other Volibear leaders. Or legends. I need to use my correct terminology. Legends in the future, and so this might be OG classic Relentless Storm Volibear, but then the next one is some super dope ice Volibear skin. I don't know what skins Volibear has, man. I don't know. But like we've seen in their promotional art in China, they had God King Darius skin.
I saw that.
And the Teemo, I don't know what the name of it is. It's like mystical something. But like that was cool. So like we know we're gonna be getting these skins in the game, which is dope.
Yeah. That's a really good perspective, that a skin in League is just an alt art for a trading card.
Yeah,
that's a really good perspective. I've never considered that, but you're right. That is pretty cool because there's some cool Yasuo skins. I would love to see. There's like a dragon tamer where he's wearing like a white kimono. He's got this like flute. Yeah. Oh, it's so cool. Great.
I'm just looking forward to all the like the cyber skins. You know, like Leona's got like got some. Master Yi's got one where like they've got like cyberpunk stuff, like laser swords and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I love that aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of flexibility. All right. Well, I don't want to stay too long, so I do want to pick your brain for a couple things. First of all, the game itself. So it's a victory point base race. You score victory points by playing around battlefields. We're not going to get into like the full details because you can read the rules on the Discord server, which will probably change by the time this comes out. But you're not playing, so it's not like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you have like a health total and you're trying to whittle that down. There are battlefields. When you kick someone off of a battlefield, you get a point. If you hold a battlefield by the start of your turn, you get a point. There's other ways you can do that. But first to 8 points wins. We've seen games like this where it's not a player v player. It's more of a player fighting over territories. So like L5R, there's a lot of other games that have done it.
Yeah, like Keyforge comes to mind.
Yeah, Keyforge, a great example. What do you think? Unfortunately, I don't want to be a negative Nancy here, but by the metrics of where the trading card game market is right now, those games just don't do well. We don't really see them last very long. Now, of course, it's not supported by a company the size of Riot, but at the same point, we've seen big companies with big money do this, and then in a couple of years, it doesn't fizzle. So, like, do you like the game? Do you think this is something that can do well? Because the game itself, the idea is not revolutionary. It's not brand new, but it looks fun. I'm having fun with it. But like, we both played for long enough to go, this may last a while, or this might be like a 5-year game, and that's it. Like, it's not going to go super long. Who knows? What do you think?
I think it has a lot of potential. It's fun, and you mentioned a lot of these other various games that like have had similar kind of mechanics, but they also haven't had the draw of a strong IP to get the player base in. Okay, and so I think League has enough draw to be able to get people to sit down and play the game. Okay. And if the game's fun, people are going to play it. Like, that's majority of where it comes out to. If the game's fun, people are going to want to play it. And if people are playing it together, they're going to have fun, which is where, like, what I alluded to way back that I said I was going to talk about
40 minutes ago. I was actually about to bring that up. Like, you alluded to this. I want you to bring that point up because it's a great point.
Yeah. The game is designed for 1v1, 2v2, and free-for-all. There's rule sets for all of them. They all work based off the exact same principles, and you can play them all with the same deck. So no matter who, where you're at, who you're sitting down with, on how many people you're sitting down with, y'all can sit down and play a game and have a good time. You don't have to sit here and like be like, okay, cool, here's my commander deck, here's my modern deck, here's my standard deck, here's my explorer deck, here's my pauper deck. What are we playing today? It's like, no. Draft. I sit down, hey, you want to battle? Or like, oh, hey, what's up, guys? There's 4 of us here. You want to play some free for all, or you want to, team up, have a little 2v2 action? Like, it's simple to get games in with the people around you. And that is super important for a TCG because they're social games. That's the entire point of it. So the thing that, is going to be a big question is, how does Riot support organized play? Because that is going to be incredibly important in terms of, maintaining a player base long term. And that we're yet to see. I'm fully confident that at regional and above levels, as long as Riot is directly handling them and they're not farming them off to third parties, they're going to be phenomenal events because Riot knows how to throw an amazing event for their games. the question is,
they're going to hire like a third-party company to do?
Yeah, I mean there is that.
Things?
Yeah, because I mean it's easy that way. You've got PBG, you've got Core TCG, you've got the Play Network, you've got all these different people where like that's what they do, and so it's easy to be like, okay, cool, like y'all are the TCG experts, y'all go handle this. Whereas, but Riot just has such an opportunity to make such a huge impact in the TCG space by raising the bar. You know what I mean? Yeah. Pokemon already does a great job. Like if every TCG got to Pokemon's level, whatever, man, it's fine.
Yeah, Pokemon is the pinnacle. They're very good.
But Riot has the potential to definitely equal, if not exceed, that. And my concern is the local level, because we know they're not handling that themselves. Yeah. And so it's what kind of support we're going to get locally, because that is where games live, breathe, and die.
Yep. I'm hopeful they're going to be diligent with that, but they're clearly listening, and that gives me more hope than anything else, because we don't know the details right now. It's too early to really know the details, so I'm not too concerned about it. But I really do think if they were to announce a organized play program and the community says this sucks, they would have the ability to go back and say, okay, we're going to make this better. I'm pretty confident they're going to like kind of network around and talk to people and get a good idea of like what people do want versus what they think people want, because those are two completely different realms of thought.
Yep.
Where Riot could say, oh, people want full art foil cards. It's like, no, we want like play mats, and we want like new what are these leaders called, new legends, like alt art legends and stuff like that, where they think, oh, hey, we'll give you like full art foils of these common cards. Yeah, we don't want those. Nobody plays with those. Stop that. Don't do that.
Yeah. And that's actually like, I'm glad they're releasing in China first, because that gets they get to go and release there, make all their mistakes, and then figure things out, and then come here with a better product.
Yeah. I'm also in the same boat. Also, I just don't want to deal with like multiple card games coming out in Q1. That just makes it really hard to pick and choose.
Yeah.
But
what else is coming out Q1?
Coming out. Huh?
What else is coming out Q1?
Gundam's going to start pushing in Q1, Q2.
No, dude. We haven't even had an announcement for a release date yet.
I thought they said they're doing another wave of special edition stuff.
Oh, you're talking about the beta. Yeah, I mean, technically the beta edition releases. Yeah. I'm not really counting that as launch.
Like I said, I'm probably collecting more Gundam. So like I'm buying
fair.
Those betas.
That is fair. Yeah. So the beta edition is late January, early February, but then we still don't have a release date for actual release, which means probably, because Bandai, it does 6-month pre-orders on pretty much every single game. Yeah, we're looking at summer at the earliest. So
totally okay with. Totally fine. There's a lot of gaming. 2025 I really think is going to be a strong year for trading card games. It is looking really good.
Yeah, Pokemon is going absolutely insane right now.
Oh, that new terrestrial stuff is just woo, it's hot.
Well, Surging Sparks just went completely bonkers.
Yep.
And it's like Pikachu set, prices gone.
Yep.
And then they're like Eevee set, Team Rocket set. Like dude, they're just dropping bomb after bomb after bomb, and the entire Pokemon market is just freaking out.
That's why I need money, is for the Pokemon sets early game.
Yeah, I was listen, if it is both an amazing time and an absolutely terrible time to be a Pokemon collector, because good Lord, I hope your savings account is well stocked, because you're going to be dipping into it.
It's a lot of stuff. Yeah, early in the year is Pokemon. Middle of the year is going to be Magic, because you've got the Final Fantasy Secret Lair, the SpongeBob Secret Lair. and then like late in the game should be Spider-Man, and then middle to like Q2, Q3 is going to be a combination of like Gundam and potentially Project K.
Yeah, hopefully.
On top of all the other games, you know, that are out there. It's just like, woo, it's a busy year.
And even Magic, they've got some dope sets coming out. I mean, you've got Innistrad Remastered, which is going to be expensive.
I'm so excited.
Because it's a remastered set.
I know.
Aether Drift looks dope.
Aether Drift does look fun. I agree.
Yeah. And then you're going back to Tarkir, and who doesn't love dragons, right?
I'm hopeful they don't screw it up, because we keep going back to like Dominaria and all these other planes, and it's like this sucks, y'all. This is terrible.
Fair.
Because they've done Ravnica like 4 times, and the first one was Ravnica 1 was great. Return to Ravnica was fun, and then the other 2 were like, oh, what? What? Stop. It's that Michael Jordan meme. Stop. Get help. Get yourself some help. Go somewhere else. I keep asking, why do they not go back to Lorwyn? Like when they did Bloomborough, it sold like crazy. Mm-hmm. People love fantasy style planes, and they've never gone back to Lorwyn or Shadowmoor or Morningtide stuff. It's like I would buy a Lorwyn in a heartbeat. If you're like Lorwyn 2, take my money. I'll buy a case. That was one of my favorite planes of all time.
Yeah, I mean Strixhaven was really cool.
Oh, I loved Strixhaven. It was knockoff Harry Potter, super fun.
Yeah, that 100%. That's what it was. It was Magic Harry Potter. It was dope.
Yeah, let's go back to Strixhaven. I think I bought like 5 or 6 boxes of that just because it was so fun.
The Mystical Archive cards are awesome.
Oh, those were like money. Also, do you remember War of the Spark, where every pack had a Planeswalker?
No.
Oh, okay. No. So they did a Planeswalker set where every pack, kind of like some of these, like what is it? Like Star Wars Unlimited? You were guaranteed to get a leader. You're guaranteed to get a base, because that's how the game works. So when they did the War of the Spark, it was like this Planeswalker Super Friends kind of battle. And so every pack was guaranteed to have at least one Planeswalker. So they were like common, uncommon, rare, mythic. So like you could crack a pack and have like 3 Planeswalkers. And it was great, because that's my favorite card type. And I think they did War of the Spark in like,
I mean, by now it's it feels pretty old. Like,
yeah. So I would love for them to not necessarily do another like Planeswalker war, but do another set where like you're just guaranteed a Planeswalker from like I think there was like 30 or 40 Planeswalkers in that set. And it was cool. It was really cool. It doesn't matter if the Planeswalker is worth 5 cents. Having a Planeswalker in that pack felt good, because it's Planeswalker. It's awesome. Yeah. You've got something unique. You've got these plus abilities, these minus abilities. A bunch of the common and uncommon ones just had like static effects that were really gnarly. They'd have like one ability, and it would be like fairly bad, but the passive ability would just be like, oh, that's actually kind of impactful. There's a couple uncommons that you never use their ability. You just played them for a passive. They were essentially an enchantment, but it was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I say all that to say, Wizards, please do another set where it's like I'm guaranteed either a Planeswalker, or I also really love those I can't remember what they're called, the sagas, the enchantments that have like a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. Yeah, do a set where like every pack has a saga. I don't care if it's common, uncommon, rare. Just throw it in there. It's fun. Those are super cool mechanics that people enjoy. Yeah. It doesn't have to be good. Just the artwork is cool.
Didn't you hear it's not Magic the Gathering, it's Universes Beyond the Gathering.
Oh yeah. I'm hardcore Magic old school head when it's like we're playing that, but I'm a gamer at heart. So it's like I like Final Fantasy, I like SpongeBob, I like Spider-Man. I don't care if it crosses over into my Magic the Gathering stuff. I mean, like we've been doing this for years, where there's like there's a Warhammer set, a Fallout set, a Walking Dead set, Street Fighter, Fortnite. I mean,
at this point, Magic's too far gone. Like,
Transformers. There's Godzilla. Like, I mean, we've
Jurassic
seen so
Park.
many Jurassic Park. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I think we've gone past the point of like, oh, you keep your not magic away from our magic. It's like we guys are playing like Negan Commander decks. A Lord of the Rings. Now I did like the Lord of the Rings, but yeah, it's like, okay, I'm gonna use my Bilbo Baggins to fight your Warlord Titan, and I flash out Negan as a blocker. Like,
yeah,
that's insane, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Or
my favorite stuff,
like
my favorite like on this similar vein was the D&D sets that weren't Universe Beyond, because WotC also already like it's the same stuff, and the D&D sets were awesome. Like
they're so
I just love that there's +2 mace. Like that just makes me happy. As a nerd, just that there's +2 mace just makes me like and the deck of many things, like
yeah. Well, it's just it goes back to that thing you were talking about, when you were reminiscing. It's just fun. It's classic fun. It's an IP Wizards owns, but you can integrate, classic Magic, which is a fantasy game, and layer in some D&D, which is a fantasy game, and sure, why not? You should absolutely be able to have deck of many things with your Harry Potter knockoff Strixhaven using the +2 mace. It all makes sense. And then you throw SpongeBob in, of course, and make him just crazy.
Yeah, but like like a lot of people might be going off, on our mid show millennial nostalgia rants, but at the end of the day, is like, dude, that's what sells TCGs. Why is Pokemon successful? Why is Magic successful? Even One Piece and like some of these other ones, Gundam. Why do we think it's going to succeed?
Nostalgia.
It's nostalgia. Is people are invested. They're emotionally invested into these things because of the experiences that they had with them over time, and that's literally what keeps these TCGs going, and it's what sells them, and it's what it comes down to.
It's really funny because most people know me as a TCG guy. And so I have a lot of friends who do Gunpla, and I showed them, hey, there's a Gunpla trading card game. And they're like, what? There's a card with my favorite Gundam on it? Yeah, I'm going to get that card. Okay. Do you know how much it's going to cost? Like, they'll ask me. I'm like, I don't know. If it's like the full art foils, it might be expensive. Like, okay, I don't care. Because, they've got hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of Gundams. And they're not going to play the Gundam card game, but they want that one specific card to put next to their Gundam on their shelf. And you're right. And it's all nostalgia, 100%.
Dude, the Kickstarter or the whatever, the whoever comes out with and if you want to start a little business venture on the side, a Gundam display, one of the little things that you used to like, have your Gundam floating in the air or whatever.
Yeah.
And then on that display is a freaking slot for a top loader.
Yeah.
With the card, you have the Gundam up in the air floating with the guns and stuff right on top of their card that's just sitting there just looking all gorgeous and stuff. Like, dude, that's gonna sell.
Yeah.
100%.
I also actually think it's a cool idea that you can use the card as an idea for posing the model.
Yeah. There's that.
So like there's a double dip. Bandai's brilliant. They've built up. Well, you talked about Riot. This is actually, it's fascinating. So Riot has built up a community with League of Legends, the game, and then all the other spin-offs they've had. And now they're jumping into the trading card game market from using that nostalgia and that community base that they built up. Well, now that I think about Gundam, it's like they've built up years, if not decades, of anime fans, book fans, Gunpla, model kit building fans. And now they're going to have trading cards that represent something from those different forms of media, just like League of Legends. Now, the games are totally different, but it's interesting. You have two very established companies. These aren't like, 5 years or less. These are like 10, 20-year-old or longer companies. And they're really starting to capitalize on, all right, we've got a big player base, a big install of customers. Here's a trading card game. And I'm really fascinated to see how they do, because Project K and the Gundam trading card game probably not going to overlap too terribly much. Maybe like collectors, but I don't think the player bases are going to be like, hey, I play Gundam and Project K. It's probably going to be one or the other, if I had to guess.
Yeah. And the funny thing, like I've been just going on. You just reminded me. Been seeing a lot of people like in the Project Hate Discord, like overinflating how big Riot is, right?
The classic Riot fanboy.
Yeah, like I've seen people say like Watsy's like pennies compared to Riot or whatever. Like when literally like I looked it up, they have almost the exact same annual revenue of $1.5 billion. And then, we're over here talking about Bandai. Gunpla. Sorry, whoops! I just smacked my mic.
This is an exciting stat. Gundam,
yeah, like Gundam. 95% of their revenue comes from retail sales. Yeah, and so that's not, and 90% of that 95% is Gunpla. Yeah, and it's $20 billion industry. Like, yeah, like what? Well, I mean, that's just one IP that Bandai has.
Yep.
And one aspect of that IP. Yeah, and it's just like Bandai is so much bigger than people give it credit for.
I don't think people realize, and this is a big thing that Bandai has done so well, and like you have to respect them for it. Gunpla is accessible to anyone unless you're a literal like baby. Because if you're a small child, a young child, they've got those like $10 kits that have like maybe 20 pieces. It's basically Legos.
Yeah, it's like snapped together.
Yeah, it's snapped together. It's easy, and it's $10. Everybody's got $10. So you can do Gunpla as a small kid. You could do it as a teenager, an adult, a mature adult. There's no limit. If you want to do a perfect grade, a master grade, a high grade, like they've got not only the simplicity, but they've also got the complexity. So if you want to go crazy, you can. But if you want to do something really quick and simple, like we've got a Hobby Lobby here that sells Gunpla. You go down to your Hobby Lobby store, get a Gunpla for like $12, and you build it with your friends over a weekend, and that's fun. Like that's an awesome. Again, it's a social kind of experience, but it doesn't ask you to have hundreds of dollars, because like with trading cards you need a lot more money. With video games you need a lot more money. With Gunpla, for $100 you could easily get like 5 Gundam kits or more, depending on the Gundam kits. Yeah, and that's a huge value proposition. If it's like you could have one deck. Now don't get me wrong, you can play that deck forever, or you can buy like a ton of Gunpla. I'll buy a ton of Gunpla, please. That's fun. But now they can tap into that market and go, hey, there's a card of your favorite Gundam. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Or I wouldn't be surprised, because Bandai does their own kind of events. They'll have like con exclusive like Gundam cards, because they have con exclusive Gundam kits. So it's like, you go to like the Bandai booth. It's like, hey, you can get your like special edition Gen Con Gundam kit and the card that like accompanies that kit. How cool is that? That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. There's 100% going to be like premium Bandai, which don't even get me started on that.
Oh, yeah, that hurts. That hurts.
It does hurt. And like Gundam Base and whatever, like exclusive stuff where it's like you get a Gunpla and the card. Like that is happening. I wouldn't be surprised if like if you win like a regionals or a national or something, like they give you a Gundam to go with whatever the prize card is. Like, dude, but imagine if they did that. How cool would that be? It would be amazing. And like
you walk out with trading cards and model kits, like okay.
Yeah. And if you like the Gunpla side of things, then dope, you're super happy. If you don't, hey, it's more stuff to sell. Someone's gonna want it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at my shelf of Gundams right now. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can find cards for these when that set comes out, because it's a lot of Witch from Mercury. I love those models so much.
You know what my favorite Gundam models are? My favorite kit.
Yeah.
Period. The ones that are wearing the Gundam Nikes.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Like they did it with shoes. Yeah. They did it with shoes. You think they're not going to do it with cards?
Oh, I mean, and that's, I think what's really exciting about the Gundam TCG is there's so much cross compatibility. Were you in a city where they did that Gundam, like it was in a truck and they would go to different stores and you could like buy special edition Gundams, and they had like a free Gundam model you could build. I cannot remember what it was called. It happened right before my honeymoon.
It sounds like Gundam Base, but like
I think it was Gundam Base. Yeah, it literally happened the weekend before my honeymoon. I'm like, I'm not even interested in this. I've got to like do my job and then like prep to go on my honeymoon and get married. Everyone's like, aren't you going? I'm like, no. Are you serious? I'm getting married in 6 days. Leave me alone. Go away. I'll do it next year. This is not important on my list. But when they took pictures and told me all about it, I was like, I wish I could have done it. But like, wife is much more important than a Gundam event, which they said they'll come back next year anyway. So okay. But yeah, like, could you imagine like Gundam Base with the trading card game out? It's like, hey, you can like play a starter deck, like a sampler deck, and you can buy these like special edition Gundams. Oh, we're also going to have these special edition like single trading cards you can buy as well. Like, oh, here's my money, take it.
Yeah.
See ya.
Or instead of like, like there's the starter deck, and it's like one of them's gonna be Amuro Ray and Selena Mercury, right?
Yeah,
like we know that's one of the starter decks. And it's like you go to the event. Like you go to the event, you can go and demo, and then if you buy the starter deck, it comes with either a RX-782 or an aerial Gunpla. Like,
you're getting me so excited, dude. Come on. and like kind of rubber banding around back to Riot, I kind of hope they find a way to integrate the trading card game into the local level. Because like, if you think about the Gundam trading card game, I know we're talking a lot about Gundam, but whatever. It's fun. This is a really fun episode, by the way. I'm having a blast. Yeah. So like, if Bandai's smart, they can rubber band a lot of things to like, hey, if you're a Gundam store, like your Hobbytown USAs and stuff like that, we'll send you like some starter decks. You don't necessarily have to have like booster packs, but like just enough for people to go, hey, I'm buying my, because Gundams are very much like comic books. New one comes out, everybody goes and buys it. And then you see like, oh, there's a trading card game. Yeah, you can pick up a starter deck for like $10. Okay. And if you buy like a starter deck and a Gundam, there's a special promo card. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's like an easy way to recruit people.
Yeah. And then where they really get you is inside of that starter deck is a pack. So then you get your first hit. You get your first hit of the cardboard crack.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah. But like, imagine all these places that already sell Gundam, they can double dip into the trading card game. And then with all the Bandai events, it's like, okay, if you're here for Gunpla, you can get Gundam cards. And if you're here for the trading card game, we have special Gunpla for you. Yeah, there's so many ways they can just integrate
cross promotion just everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's something Pokemon did really well, because they had like the VGC where it's like, okay, if you play the video game, you can pick up trading cards of your favorite Pokemon, like your Pikachu, Charizard, and then vice versa. Hey, if you're a trading card game player, we've got these stations here where you can pick up, a 3DS and play the video game for free. It's like, oh, okay, cool. And you can kind of double dip at these events where it would be great to see, because Riot's doing, this event in, was it China? Is that where it was?
Yeah, it was in Macau, which is a provincial state of China or something like that. I don't know.
Because I know they were doing like, they did TFT, they were doing League of Legends, they were doing the trading card game. So, if Riot...
The event was the TFT Open. So that was the event. Yeah. And then they had all the side stuff of everything Riot.
Yeah. I think 2XKO was there too, I think, right?
Probably, but I was laser focused on Project K. So.
Oh, that's fair. I'm a big fighting game player, and I'm really excited to play 2XKO when it hits. Yeah. I'm just waiting for it.
That's another one where it's like, I wish I was good at these games, because I would enjoy it. But
I love fighters, especially like Marvel. When's Marvel? The classic MVC, Marvel vs. Capcom, like switch out fighters. Oh, I love those. And the fact it's a 2v2, like, oh, this looks good.
It's going to be really interesting how that works. Yeah, always. Yeah. There's just so much cool, awesome, exciting stuff to talk about right now. Yeah, like you said, 2025 is just going to be awesome. Like if you're a nerd, this is going to be a good year.
It is. Like, it is.
Not for your wallet, but for your heart, your soul.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good year.
It's going to be a good year. But yeah, if Riot does more of these like events where, you know, you can go play, maybe there's a primary game. So it's like a League of Legends tournament, but there's also TFT and 2XKO and the trading card game. Well, I'll go for the trading card game, and then, you know, whatever else is like, oh, hey, look, there's Justin Wong playing 2XKO, and there's Faker playing League of Legends. Like, okay, I'm okay. Yeah. I have, and, you know, Disguised Toast playing TFT. I'm fine with this. No problem.
What would be wild? What would be super wild is if you started seeing them do like as additional pricing for stuff, like someone wins a TFT Open or, you know, a League of Legends, whatever those things are called. Yeah. There's cards. Like they get prize cards for like the digital games. Like,
yep.
That would be wild.
That would be sick. I mean, and you know those cards are going to be worth money because it's going to be probably like 100%. A serialized, you know, like
or just straight up 1-of-1, like
1-of-1 or like 1 of 50
like higher tiers. Yeah.
Well, time to start playing League again, I guess. Darn.
God, you twisted my arm, Riot. You twisted.
Darn, I already liked the game, anyways. Guess I'm gonna have to start getting good again. Mother, father. All right, time to start a team. But yeah, there's a lot of potential, and I think what's interesting is like Gundam seems way more like base level community business oriented, where, like I was saying, you've got stores that have Gundams that can now do the trading cards, and then you could see trading card game stores picking up Gundam kits. So there's just so much integration of the brand. And then League of Legends can kind of do the opposite, where maybe it's not like the local level business, but it's much better at like the convention level, where you go for one thing and everything is there. Like if you're a Riot fan, you're just going to see all these people doing all these cool things. Yeah. And it's just going to be this overload of awesome stuff. Yeah.
I mean, basically what Pokemon does now. Like Pokemon doesn't do like Pokemon TCG regionals. No, it's like it's a Pokemon event. And at that same event, you've got the TCGs, you got the VGC, you've got I'm sure Pocket's going to get added in there. You've got Go, you've got whatever. I don't know what there's probably more Unite. You've got Unite.
Yeah. Oh, Unite's there. Yeah. I want to see Riot do what Pokemon's doing, like you were saying, because I like the idea of Riot running their own events. I really don't want to see like Project K TCG event run by insert name here. Like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Sure. Pokemon has been like the two events I've been to. It's just all Pokemon. And the best part is, you know, it's run by the company. It's not just other people who are making money off of the IP. So they do it right. You get so much good support. Like your ticket gets you like playmat, booster pack, stickers, plushies, like all kinds of cool stuff. Like you feel like even just as a viewer, you're getting value, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Pokemon's coverage is next level. They do such an amazing job, and like even like they do super crazy stuff. Like I watched on their YouTube channel, they had this whole like series of I forget what it's called, but it was like what it means to be a Pokemon. Like then there was like a teacher and there was a kid, and it was like these episodes, like these documentary episodes of like following these different people around and like how Pokemon impacted their life and how they integrated with, you know, whatever in order to create, you know, good stuff. Yeah. And like just the fact that they're going around and doing that, just they highlight their community more than anyone else, hands down.
Yeah.
It's absolutely not even a competition at all.
Yeah. And it's also like fun. It's not like weird, like people are shilling. You know, you feel like these are actors, like paid actors who've been bought off. And you're like, oh, you know, you got that person on screen. It's like, I love Pokemon. It saved my life when I was all alone by myself. Thanks, Pokemon.
Like, yeah. It's not Pokemon The Bachelor, right?
Like, oh, I hate that. Oh, man. Yeah, my wife loves that show, and I'm like, clearly I'm not the demographic because I'd rather get punched in the face than watch The Bachelor.
I've been enjoying a show lately called Unreal, and it's a TV show about the people that make a reality TV show.
Is it fun?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's all kinds of drama and like stuff and like craziness happens and like, but it's super cool because it's like you get all of the reality TV show like drama and ridiculousness that you want without having to be like, this isn't real. It's like, no, I know it's not real. It's just a show. Yeah. Like these are actors.
Yeah. Like it's fake.
Yeah, I'm aware it's fake.
Yeah, I've gotten sucked into the classic baking TV shows. The everyone has to cook something, and then the chef judges it, and then whoever's the worst has to get sent home. Yeah. So there's a new Harry Potter baking show that's pretty fun, and then Lord. I just discovered this food truck race where it's basically like all these people get a food truck for the first time, so they're restaurateurs. But they're food truck amateurs. So they're like, sounds amazing. Really, it is actually. They're really good at cooking, but they're really bad at managing a food truck. So the chefs are like, I don't know where anything is. Stop touching me. Because, there's like 3 or 4 people in a food truck. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you got to get out of my way. I'm the chef. And the person who's like running the business is like, yo, you just shut up and like get the job done. So like half of the team is trying to figure out how to cook in a cramped area. The other team is trying to figure out like how to price it and how to like sell to people and get them to come to their food truck. And it's just hilarious watching these people who are like, if this was my restaurant, I'd be making thousands of dollars, but I can't make 500. And it's like, well, there's a reason for this. So it's this weird like business / drama / cooking show. It's really fun. It's actually quite interesting.
That sounds amazing. I love all that kind of stuff, like the old school like Restaurant Impossible or the restaurant renovations and stuff like that. Like
okay. Yeah, do you have HBO Max?
I do not.
Okay, it's it might be on Discovery because it's a Food Network show.
Gotcha.
So you might be able to find it on there. But yeah, it's just fun.
I'll look into it.
Yeah. Classic. Oh, my favorite thing is the host, and then we'll wrap this up because we're almost hitting 2 hours. So one of the episodes, the food truck people were trying to like boost their profits. Okay, so here's the cool thing about this show. It's not how good your food tastes, it's how much money you make. That keeps you in the game.
Right.
So if you have the least amount of money, you get the boot. So they go to like Galveston, Texas, and everyone's like, all right, we're going to like price gouge these people. So not only do we make a ton of money, but we can beat our competitors. And the host is like, he always goes and samples and makes criticisms, and everyone was like overpriced. One team had like a $30 waffle and 1 chicken strip combo. And so at the end of the episode, he's like, all right, here's my ledger. Here's what everyone made. But before I tell you what you made, I want you all to apologize on national television for price gouging these poor souls with your crappy food. And they're like, what? And they have like the dramatic like zoom in and the music changes. And the host is like, you charged at least double what your food was worth. It was good, but it wasn't that good. Stop being all full of yourselves or I'm going to kick everyone out. And he's like, apologize right now. And they're like, sorry, America. I'm like, what is this? And then the next episode, when they're like they're like, all right, we got to make sure people get like a bang for their buck so this guy doesn't get mad at us. And so they like quadrupled their portion sizes. And it's hilarious because at the end of the episode where they price gouge, the host like reads people's reviews and like people are like, I'm gonna have to take out a second mortgage to pay for this. Will you accept like my firstborn child to pay for this meal? Like it was brutal how like awful these reviews were. And if you watch the episodes, like, oh, this is bad. They had like a 4-inch po' boy for like $27. It was bad. It was real bad. Yeah. They were ripping people off. It was like definitely a fair criticism, but the fact he was just blowing like, I think it was like 5 or 6 teams. He was just like, y'all suck. Stop doing that.
Get your life together.
Yeah. Stop doing that crap. Like, come on. Oh man, it was hilarious. Anywho, final thoughts. Project K. What do you think is going to be a strong selling point for people who are interested? Because I know there's a huge community for Riot games, but I'm noticing that a lot of TCG players specifically may or may not necessarily have any interaction with Riot. So like there is the Legends of Runeterra digital game.
Yeah.
But like I know a lot of League of Legends people played that. I don't know a ton of Magic people who intersected with Legends of Runeterra. Like they're aware that
that's fair.
Riot is a thing, but like Magic players, Yu-Gi-Oh players, Pokemon players, insert trading card game person here. I don't necessarily think they're the target demographic for League of Legends. So what do you think is going to be the big selling point to go, hey, you're a Magic player, come play Legends, Project K, and to get people in, because that's a big thing. We're in that Riot ecosystem. We know what League of Legends is, but I've got a ton of Magic friends who are like, I hate Riot. I'm not going to play League of Legends. they might play Project K because it's a trading card game, but they don't know who Yasuo is. They don't know what Volley Bear does. It's like, it's a giant panda bear. What the heck? I don't care. They don't watch Arcane. They don't care about Jinx or Caitlyn. Like, I don't care what this is. It's a trading card. To them, it's a card game. They don't have any established understanding of lore or character development.
100%. I did have my first in-paper experience today playing with one of my buddies who has absolutely no investment into the Riot IP. Okay. And so we played it quickly, but he's a TCG vet, so it wasn't too hard for him to figure things out. And then after the game, I had to bounce, but I was like, hey man, did you have fun? Is it something that you want to play again? He was like, yeah man, it was cool. I'd definitely play it again. So that was a good sign to me. I think as far as like it more of like a marketing perspective, one aspect of it is, like we talked about earlier, is it's easy to appeal to any TCG player that's currently playing a TCG to get them from whatever format they're playing to an equivalent format in Riot. So it's like, hey, you're a Commander player? Cool. It has Commander-ish. You're, a 1v1 sweaty tryhard? Dope. We got that too. And then, the 2v2 aspect, not a lot, that isn't really built upon in a lot of card games. And the fact that it's native to it and is even said by the game developer to be the best format for the game is pretty cool. Whether he was serious when he said that or not, I'm not sure. But
I would assume he probably was. Have you ever played Two-Headed Giant in Magic?
Yeah, I love Two-Headed Giant.
That is one of my favorite formats. It's 100%. So much fun.
Yeah, Emperor, dude, I love Emperor.
Oh, if they do Emperor in Project K, oh no.
Just a regular old team format is just so much easier and also just as rewarding, in my opinion. But so I think in that instance, it'll be easy to take entrenched TCG players and then have something that's familiar with them. Also, in terms of game mechanics, there's a lot of mechanics that are familiar from a variety of different games. One of the things that I've heard people describe the game as, while not entirely accurate, is close enough, is it's One Piece meets Marvel Snap. And to me, that's close enough to where it'll get people to go, huh? And that gets them interested.
Yeah. That's a great analysis of Marvel Snap, One Piece. Okay, I see that.
Yeah. And I think that the quote unquote more unique battlefield victory point scoring aspect of the game, it's non-traditional, could be a negative. Some people could be like, oh, this is weird, I don't like it as turn off, but it also could be, positive, being like, it's something different and new and fresh, and people are just like, I like this, like it's not the same old thing. So
Yeah, I agree. And that's really where I think Project K is going to survive or struggle, is so many people are used to the classic. You have a life total, I have a life total, you got to kill each other. And this is much more of a, like you said, Marvel Snap. You have to micromanage locations, you have to micromanage your units at battlefields and combat and stuff. And some people love that and some people don't. And so that's probably going to be the hurdle Riot has to overcome, is there is a different style of gameplay when it comes to location based games. And sometimes people's brains just don't enjoy or can't wrap around that style of play or the math, versus Magic's very simple. You have 20 life, I have 20 life. Get rid of my 20 life. Do whatever you got to do. Spell sling, attack me, mill me out. Very simple. But with Battlefield, it's like, okay, I have to summon units and then get them to the right battlefield. And then I have to do combat math. And then if I survive, then they could attack me and then they could get a point. So I have to have like offensive prowess and defensive tools. Some people, it's just too much. Some people, it's like, that's not fun. Yeah. So I think Project K is going to do well competitively. Like, I think very high level players will enjoy it. I'm always concerned mostly about the casual player, because that is the lifeblood of a card game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, the game was designed from jump for free for all. That was right. They designed it for free for all first.
Yeah.
And then everything else came second. So
which is crazy.
It is, yes.
You never hear that.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the effect that Commander has had on the TCG industry, which
I love it.
Which love it or hate it, it's just a fact. Yeah. And so I've played one game of free for all on Tabletop Simulator.
Okay.
It was fun. Okay. It was fun.
Okay.
We still didn't know half the rules, but it was fun.
But it was fun, yeah.
And so
Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, street rules. I get your deck if you lose. Oh my god, no, not again.
I've got a fun story for that, but we'll talk about it afterwards because it'll take too long. Okay. But yeah, it was a good time. We enjoyed it. There's the usual politics and going back and forth, and just it comes down to it. It's like someone's obviously going to win. It's like, bro, they're going to win. You got to do something about it. It's like, I can't do anything about it. And then someone else does something that makes it easier for them to win. It's just like, what were you thinking? It's like, I don't know. I just wanted to score a point, man.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's like Jurassic Park. Shoot her! Shoot her!
Yeah. So I definitely think from the casual experience, it's good.
That's good. That's really exciting.
And at the end of the day is like what Riot's counting on, right, is that there is enough me and yous that are TCG players that are invested in the Riot IP that one of us can go get 4 of our TCG player friends that aren't invested in the Riot IP to sit down and play a game with them.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And then go from there. Because that's all it takes. One Riot invested dude to get 3 other people's playing, and you've got a meta.
Yep, that's true. And that's the big question, because some Riot people are very awful, and some Riot people are very cool. There's a very wide spectrum of League of Legends players, and unfortunately, they're not known to be the most kind-hearted folk. That's
neither are Magic players. Sug.
No, Magic players aren't that great either. Pokemon players are pretty okay. Yu-Gi-Oh players are straight evil, not great.
That's aggressive.
Terrible bad. You know it's true. That's why you laugh. They know it's true. We all know it's true.
Yu-Gi-Oh. All right. We've had too many tangents, so we're gonna wrap it up. But I will say.
Yeah, tell the story.
This isn't even on that story. The thing that I appreciate the most about the Yu-Gi-Oh community is how much the Yu-Gi-Oh community jokes on itself.
Oh yeah.
All of Yu-Gi-Tube, and the fact that it even has its own that is called Yu-Gi-Tube is great. I love that.
Yeah.
Is all of it is Yu-Gi-Oh players bussing on themselves.
Yep. Yes, sir. It's fun. But like, it's true. That's the funny reason. It's real.
It's funny because it's true. Okay,
it's funny because it's true.
Yes,
that's why we're laughing about it. Oh man! All right, well, we'll save your Yu-Gi-Oh story for the next time we have you come on, because I want to hear about this. But yeah, tell everybody who you are and where they can find you, what content you're working on, and just plug away all the stuff, man.
I don't have a whole lot going on right now. I'm Sneakybuffalo on literally everything. So if you see Sneakybuffalo or Buffaro, I use that for my mobile games. That's me. And I might be working on some content for Project K or Gundam in the Commander sphere, but I got a couple of things to figure out before I get that going. But if I do, I'm sure Suk will have me back on. We can talk about it then.
Oh yeah. Once you get that up and running, we'll have you back on and we'll be chatting. But it's a good year. It is a good year. We're starting off strong. Currently, it's going to be January at the time of this release, so we're just kicking off the year with so many games, so much fun. And I mean, that's what we really believe in is if you're playing games, you should really be having fun. If you're not, probably the wrong game to play. Because there's so many people with friends who tell them like, you have to play this game. And they do it because they're friends, but they're not having a good time. And this is with like so many hobbies, video games, miniatures, tabletop. Hey, you got to play this board game. Okay. They're having a terrible experience, but they care more about their friend than the actual gaming experience. So yeah, if you're playing games, have fun. That's what we subscribe to. But thank you everybody for listening. It's been a blast. Thanks for coming on, Sneaky. It's been a while. We gotta do this more often. This was a super fun chat.
Yeah, this was a blast.
I didn't even know it was 2 hours. I just looked at the recording. I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to go to bed. It's late. I got work in the morning. You got work in the morning. We got work. Woo! Good times. Yeah, everybody go check out Sneakybuffalo. We'll have you back on. We'll keep an eye on your content creation as always. But we'll see everybody next time. Have a good night and take care.